advertising is storytelling, and if you want to write good ads, and this is when I was in radio, he said, if you want to write good radio ads, you need to be studying poetry. And I'm like, wait a second. No, I thought it was humor. I thought it was make your ads funny. No, he said, you need to study poetry because journalists, if you study journalism, you're going to just inform people. If you study other things, it's this, but if you study poetry, poets create revolutions. It's all about the impact of their words, and especially in radio ads and any marketing, it's what you say.
So Jack Lehr back at the Lehr, and I'm bringing back Shane Speal. My goodness, the things that he shared with us last week, excited to be able to talk a little bit more about the social media aspect. And here we go. Let's go, Shane. Let's make it happen.
I want to give your viewers like real world things that they could be doing right now. I mean, that's what this is all about. Like, let's give you some techniques that are working for me. Can I explain them all? No, but I can tell you they're working.
Yeah, I think one of the things you did that I got from your son was one day you decided, I'm just going to dig in, understand learn about the algorithms.
Oh, yeah.
And you nerded out hardcore, right?
I had to go through TikTok and watch hours of it. Every night, just going through, seeing the stupidest videos. I am, and trying to dial in my feed for things that I like. However, I wanted to see what was getting popular and what wasn't. There is so many people that are copying other people on TikTok, and it is getting a lot of videos, but it is a lot of the same old crap. So if you're sitting there at night and you're just going through to clear your mind, you're seeing the same crap. But if somebody comes along and gives you something interesting, if he gives you something, I'm almost like a throwback to people. I'm like old time entertainment, because instead of doing whatever is in at the moment, I'm just saying, I have a basement full of toys. Let's look at them. And that's all it is, because that's what you can ask my son. I have a basement full of a couple hundred guitars, and I just show them off. But I've been playing for so long that I can be pretty badass playing at times. And so that's, I'll throw, a 3-second riff in there to get their attention. But it's a throwback. And with culture going the way it's going, people kind of kids are grasping onto me. They're saying, this is like my favorite account now. This guy is real. And so when I started realizing that I was getting more of a younger audience, I realized I started calling myself Uncle Shane.
Because prior to that, your demographic, the people that were attracted to your site, were the 50 plus, the old people that are retiring.
It was, my age and older, and so.
But now it's become what?
It's actually in the last couple of weeks, I'm watching it change. I'm getting high 18 to 24 right now, which makes no sense. Other than I'm fascinating content for them. That's a throwback. That it's fun to watch. So. The majority of mine is 25 to 34. I'm getting a lot of those in.
Okay.
But being that I'm 52 and I'm coming across, older than them, I started saying, Uncle Shane is not going to lead you wrong. Or it's just calling myself Uncle Shane. By doing that, I take myself out of the pissing contest of, well, you're not as good as this guy or you're not as good as that guy. I don't care. You got to understand, I've been doing this so long.
You're not trying to be Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen.
I'm Shane.
You're trying to be Shane.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm here to inspire them. My goal is to make people excited about music again. Because, in my opinion, so much music has become homogenized and perfect. And you cannot play perfect music on a cigar box guitar. It is impossible. It's out of tune. It's creaky. And that's what I've always loved about it, is the humanity of it. And so I'm giving them all these instruments that are so weird, but they're fascinated. They're drawn to it like a moth to a flame because it's not hip hop. It's not whatever. It's this old Depression era meets whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
I think one of the things so I watched one of your videos just the other day, and I think I want to say it's a Monty Python. I want to say Life of Brian. Maybe
no, that was okay.
Okay,
this.
Don't leave us. No. Stick around.
I kept getting in my videos. I also get people to comment by saying, "What should I make a guitar out of next?" I purposefully do that because they comment, and when they comment, it drives the video up in the algorithm. Okay. So the more engagement you get, the more. Do
you have to engage back with them?
You know what? You should.
Okay, you should, but do you have to in order to get the algorithms to make it?
It helps.
Okay.
It helps. Good. Yesterday, I spent 8 hours doing nothing but answering comments.
Holy camole.
So getting back to the Monty Python thing, people kept, I said, what should I build a guitar out of? And I was getting weird stuff. Water, bread, and it reminded me of the Monty Python Holy Grail.
Holy Grail.
What,
Gosh, yes.
what else floats on water?
Yeah.
Bread, apples, churches. Well, I took that clip and I said, I've been asking you guys for, what should I build a guitar from? And this is the responses I'm getting. And I took that clip and I put it in there. Bread, apples, churches, a duck. And then it went back to me and I'm like, what else you want me to make? And it was just one of those videos nobody expected. Yeah. It had a quick little thing. Now, I am treading on thin ice with that one because I did use a copyrighted little clip. And I have a business account, so I need to watch. If I get a strike for that I will delete that video from my feed. You got to watch copyrighted material.
Do you just have to give them credit, or you have to be?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends on their lawyers. Yeah.
Hopefully, this doesn't go to the 12 different platforms that I know it goes to. So maybe nobody will watch this one. I don't know.
But no, I mean, and it was just one of those that their comments. I was sitting there at night and was like, I ought to do this because it reminds me of that scene where they were trying to figure out what floats on water like a witch.
Yeah. I love it. When I saw that, I was like, wow, this guy is a character. And the fact that you can have that humor, the way you did it and the way you present it, like your energy that you give is just, oh my gosh, it's very, it's addictive. You just want to keep watching.
My family, I've become a meme to my family now because I scream into the camera as I pick up another instrument. Like with I made a 2-string guitar out of a boat oar. And in one of my videos, I'm like, boat oar! And I hold it up, and scrap iron, and I hold it up. So at home, I'll be walking around, and my wife will be going, boat oar! Or my kids making fun of me that way. But about being a character, at home, I'm chill. In front of a camera, you do need to be a character. You do need to risk being an idiot in a way. And I learned this as a musician, as a performer. On stage, I need to be over the top as a front man. I can't just, be a shoegazer, looking at my shoes and playing the whole time. And no, I need to be just going nuts because they're there to see a show. It's the same way with my social media. If you're not putting it out there and just being strong and drawing them in, you're not going to get the viewers. Colin Boyer is a natural at social media. I look at him, he doesn't back off when the camera's there. He just looks and he says, I just flipped this house, the house of a hoarder. I don't know, he just did that one where he bought
Spaghetti-O
the
one.
Spaghetti-O house.
There's a lot of people in my world that know what Spaghetti-O and That's Bananas is all about. We'll talk about that another time.
And for him to just be able to look at the camera, there's no no. He's just like, I did this, we did this, this was a success, bam. He's a natural. I love watching his videos. I'm attracted to his videos because I know he's going to, there's no pussyfooting. He's just going to tell me what he did. He's going to give me an interesting fact, and I subscribe to him.
There is an interesting fact about him is that he got a comment on his most recent one where he was talking about the Spaghettio house, and I was involved in that house with him, so that was quite an ordeal. But anyway, Colin is walking up the stairs, and he's crossing his legs back and forth, and somebody said something about them walking like that.
I didn't see that.
Before you leave, we're going to go shoot our own reel and TikTok,
yes.
and we're all going to cross going up the steps.
Yes.
We'll have Colin here to lead us.
Oh, beautiful.
Now, remember, I have replacement hips. You don't know that. If I cross over too much, they could pop out, and it could become viral.
That would be a good video.
Thank you. At my expense.
And here he is going on the stretcher to the hospital.
Oh, my gosh. So we'll get back into a little bit about the algorithms and what people can do to get to the next level in social media. But
right.
I want to ask a couple other questions.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
What do people misunderstand about you the most?
What do they misunderstand? Wow.
And you weren't given these questions ahead of time.
No, but it's that the character I portray on screen or in video is who I am outside of that. Quite honestly, I'm one of those that straddle on extrovert, introvert, where I can be extroverted in front of the camera, but other than that, I want to just kind of sit back, in my little cave. If I'm in public for doing a show, on stage, I'm Gene Simmons. Off stage, I'm hiding. Okay, and that's part of who I am. Last night, I went to a York Revolution baseball game.
Okay.
My drummer is actually the announcer at the stadium. And so, of course, he's starting to goof on me. Ladies and gentlemen, we have international music star Shane Speal in the audience. And I'm like dying and I want to hide. Yeah. That's who I am. You put me in front of a camera, I'm Bozo the Clown.
It's funny because one of the questions I was going to ask, and I like to ask this to everybody because I am a natural introvert, but I get extroverted for this type of stuff. So, yeah. But it sounds like you got both of them inside of you, right?
I once did that study on Myers-Briggs. I'm an ENFP, which creative, they're good with marketing, and, they're good out front, but then, you need to recharge by being an introvert. Whereas true extroverts recharge by being around people.
Yeah.
For me, I need to recharge by going in my basement.
So it's very interesting. So we put a lot of energy, effort into this. We do a lot of video. We shoot a lot of, get to speak at some international events and what have you. And when that day before, that day of, and that day after, I'm worthless the next day.
Yes.
Because I put so much energy and effort because of having to do that. To help others.
Yep.
That's what I get focused on so that it becomes less painful.
Yes.
But, sometimes being in front of these lights and cameras, boy.
And you need to give yourself that next day. You need to repair yourself. My wife always said that if I had a gig, I was always worthless the next day. Yeah. Just laying around because I put everything out on stage. I mean, I am not an athletic person or anything, but on stage, I'm this short, fat goofball with a homemade guitar playing goofy instruments and making the audience just, go nuts. The next day, I am worthless. I need to recharge.
So you might have just said it, but what's an insult you received that you're proud of? And it probably might have taken place in social media. I don't know.
Oh, I get an insult. Oh, my God. I'm loving this. Can I talk about insults for a minute?
Please. I love insults. I love insults. Go ahead.
Folks, if you're going to do social media, you're going to have trolls. You're going to have people make fun of you. The biggest comment you're going to have, and it will come over and over, starts with this word. Actually.
Oh, actually.
That
means they're an intellect.
Because
they know everything.
Exactly. And then, actually, that is not a guitar. A guitar has 6 strings. His only has 3 strings. That is not technically a guitar. And then somebody else will come and say, yeah, but it's this. I've learned. People start flame wars in the comments of I love them. I love them. I don't let them get to me anymore. In the past, running all these different social medias, I would let things get to me. Now I'm like, the more you guys talk, the more you're driving this up in the algorithm, and the more people are going to see it. You're just looking like an idiot. I don't care about you.
Yeah, the haters become the biggest promoters of your business.
Yeah.
And they drive the algorithms, and you're just like, you know what? I'm sorry you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
But you're helping me today.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And, so, I mean, insults I've gotten in the past, I've gotten so many of them. When you play a goofy homemade guitar and you're surrounded by an entire music industry bent on making the perfect guitar, this and that, and I'm coming and throwing a wrench in the system, I am a target. And I've taken some, hits in the past. I'm 52 now. I don't care.
Yeah.
I've lost my filter.
We've talked about this in the past, like some of my other things that we've shared out there, but like allowing people that have zero significance in your life.
Yeah.
When you give them the credibility of main characters in your life, we gotta you gotta realize you're bartender number 5, and then you're gonna make a comment, and I'm gonna take it serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. We give them too much credibility instead of those main characters in their life, like your son, your wife, your parents.
Never take somebody's advice, or never take the advice of somebody that you wouldn't go to for advice in the first place.
Oh my, that's perfect. I hope you mark that one down.
Yeah. I just saw that. I don't.
Sometimes the best things come out of things like this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. So, how would your parents describe what you do?
I got a good story on that. My father was a school teacher. Okay, he taught special ed all his life, and when he retired, he took over the family business. My family business is a dive bar out near Pittsburgh.
Okay,
it is the type of bar that in a coal mine town that used to just have the same 12 old men sitting at the bar. The Homer Simpson type of bar.
Yeah.
Okay. This has been in my family since the middle of Prohibition. My dad took it over from my uncle, who got too old to run it, and it was my dad's idea. Here's my retirement. When he was 13 years old, he used to be pouring beers for the old coal miners back. Yeah. This is how long it's been around. And so he called me up. He goes, I don't know what to do with this place. He goes, I got 3 people here on a Saturday night, and it's just run its course. And I said, you know what, Dad? And this was 2007, I forget. It was a while ago. I said, Dad, I've got a basement full of Cigar Box guitars. I have an extra PA system for my band. How's about I come out there, we completely revamp the walls, we make it like a Hard Rock Cafe in there, we create the inside as a Cigar Box Guitar Museum, and for the first time in the bar's history, you have live music. He goes, it's worth a try. So me and my wife and my kids, we all went out there, cleaned the place from top to bottom, hung all my Cigar Box guitars up there, had little placards on what they were, what historically they were, and being that I'm in marketing, I sent out press releases to every major newspaper and media in Pittsburgh. Well, being that this is such a bizarre little story and newspapers were still relevant back then, we had the major newspapers all around Pittsburgh cover this. We're talking 3-page spreads.
A little town of
New Alexandria, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I mean, this is like 15 minutes away from Latrobe, where the Steelers do their training camp.
Population 98 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. There's one red light. So this tiny little bar, we had all the media just go nuts. And the first night we had live music, I was going to perform, but I said, you know what? Before I perform, we're going to do 2 hours of open mic to bring all the musicians in to know that they have a new venue. Because I said, you're going to do live music on Saturdays, but you should do open mics on Fridays. And he's now moved it to open mics Fridays, Thursdays, and even Wednesdays. It became... people said it was the number 2 blues bar in the Pittsburgh area, next to one that had been established forever. The other nice thing was I made so many friends in the Cigar Box guitar community that some of them were really great performers that would go up and down the East Coast. And being that I was always the leader of this movement, they're like, I want to play your bar. And I'm like, here's my dad's information. He's not going to pay you a lot because this is in the middle of a dive bar in the middle of a small town with maybe 70 seats.
You're playing for tips,
yeah,
pretty much.
And they're like, I don't care. We just want to play there. So for the first 2 years, we had these national acts playing in this tiny little bar, making a name for itself. Now he's built up the area. So all these musicians are going to the open mics. They're getting to know each other. They're forming bands and now coming back to the bar to perform. And he created his own scene around this tiny, dead dive bar.
Yeah.
And my dad loves it.
I think your dad might call you a savior. I mean, that's incredible.
He's, I look up to him. He taught me so much.
Yeah. And
again, it's using what you have. I had guitars in my basement. I had an extra PA. We didn't spend any money. We did all this using just sweat equity. And, my guitars, had too many of them, and it was just the perfect thing all around. The entire thing put together, no money, and it transformed an entire business.
That's incredible. So that gets back to being resourceful, and probably the thing that you saw from your dad is the coal mines in Pennsylvania, that time,
yep,
it was dying.
Yep.
It dying for a long time. It actually was mostly dead.
Yep.
And to see what you did there for your pops, wow. I bet you he inspired you with the things that he did when you were growing up.
Absolutely. Yeah. And by the way, Speal's Tavern, New Alexandria, Pennsylvania. SpealsTavern.com.
I mean, I think Sarah, I think we need to go there.
Yeah, definitely got to go there. Get the big-ass wings.
Big-ass wings.
The big-ass wings.
They used to be 10-cent wings.
Oh, these things are as big as a pterodactyl.
Oh, those wings.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, very good. I'll pay more than 10 cents a wing, I guess. I don't know. I'm stuck back in the late 80s. Anyway, we'll move on here. So what is a common myth about your job or field of expertise?
Common myth. Wow. I don't know. Being that I created this whole thing, people don't even know what to think.
You're kind of mythical.
No, I'm an anomaly, I guess.
That's it.
I don't
anomaly.
Know. People know me as the Cigar Box Guitar Guy. I have people send me free guitars because I taught them how to make them, and they'll make something they're really proud of, and they want to give me one. I mean, that's where I got a good majority of my collection was just people mailing them to me as a thank you. And in the past, I didn't have as much time to show them off. But I tell you what, one of the funnest things going on right now that I'm getting 4 million views is now I get to pay back. Yeah. All these people that gave me guitars, I'm doing videos for them. I'm sending people to their websites. Nice. I've got one guitar that was made out of copper pipes. It's very bizarre. And the guy is a beautiful guitar. It was one of his earliest prototypes. And he goes, I just want to send it to you. Well, lately I've been showing it off and directing people to his Instagram page. Yeah. Yesterday he goes, you quadrupled my followers. I already have a new guitar sold. And I mean, his guitars sell for almost $2,000.
So when you do that, do you do it to give back? Do you do it because it's do you create an affiliate where you get a percentage back on the sale of it? I'm just not sure how you're monetizing your business. Right
now I'm doing that stuff I'm doing for fun and to pay back friends. Monetizing, I am being paid 40 hours a week by cbgiddy.com. Yep. He's my main client. And yes, I do his email marketing. I do product development. I do a lot of the usual marketing stuff. However, all of these videos, Instagram and TikTok, he is paying me. He says, go make people interested in this stuff. And free reign. Now, every once in a while, he'll be like, are you sure we want to have that video up? Or could you at least put a different product in there because we're running low on this one. Yeah. But in my videos, I stopped using ads on YouTube. Okay. And in other formats, I don't use their ads. I don't make money off of ad revenue. I insert my own products or my clients' products into my videos. Not all of them. There's a lot of videos I do that have no product insertion because you don't want to be that whore.
So that's just something really important to understand is that this is huge value because you want to monetize, but you also want to bring a ton of value.
Yes.
And you give a lot away, too.
Absolutely.
In fact, you probably give away more than you...
Some could say that, but I've actually made a career out of giving things away and then monetizing on other things.
Okay.
Yes, I wrote a book, but before I wrote this book, I gave away a lot of plans. And in fact, a lot of the articles, the free articles that I had online ended up going into this book, and then we just took some of those articles offline. But for so many years, I would give away free information, but then I would monetize products or services or things like that. Again, the YouTube monetization, I'm not getting the views like other people are getting.
Okay.
And I try to put the ads in there, and I would get maybe $100 every 6 months. And it wasn't worth it for people to have to sit through 15 seconds of commercials when in the middle of the video I can say, and if you want to know more about this, go to stubbyslide.com for my book, Making Poor Man's Guitars. I'll even sign it for you right there on the inside. And I put that in there, and I make more money selling books than what Google would pay me for an ad. Or I'm telling them about cbgiddy.com and their products,
right,
or their new musical instrument kit or something like that. And so my information to them is also advertisement. And you're mixing that with good content. So there is a balance. There is a real delicate balance. And I always make sure to err on the side of good content because it does drive up more people. And yes, I will sell stuff. Sometimes people are like, that's all he talks about is products. And that's when I know to just bring it back some more.
Yeah, I get that. And we're going to get into the very, very specifics here in just a second. I want to ask you one other question what is a book that you would recommend to the audience here and why?
The biggest series of books that ever rocked my world was called Wizard of Ads by Roy H. Williams.
Okay.
Roy Williams is this ad marketer down in south of Austin, Texas. And he was one that said good advertising is storytelling, and if you want to write good ads, and this is when I was in radio, he said, if you want to write good radio ads, you need to be studying poetry. And I'm like, wait a second, no. I thought it was humor. I thought it was make your ads funny. No, he said, you need to study poetry because journalists, if you study journalism, you're going to just inform people. If you study other things, it's this, but if you study poetry, poets create revolutions. It's all about the impact of their words, and especially in radio ads and any marketing, it's what you say. You can show things, but then you can show a house. But then if you use poetic words to describe it as this home that you would just want to, I don't know, whatever words you guys use to make a house enticing. It was like, okay, let's study words. So Wizard of Ads was the book, and it was nothing but 1 or 2 page short articles in these books. And he would use stories, analogies, but it rocked my world and made me become a better ad writer.
I love it. So it's the telling of a story.
Absolutely.
Relates to someone that puts that emotion to it.
Yes.
Okay. That gets invested.
And verbs. It is the study of good verbs because verbs are action. If you're just, describing things, describing nouns and adjectives, you're just painting a picture, but the verbs are saying you want to sit in this chair, you want to lay down in this bed in this bedroom with
versus just saying that's amazing or that's incredible.
Exactly. No, it's this is absolute bliss when you lay down to sleep. Whatever, you use those different things and you put their mindset into that theater of the mind, and so words are everything.
So I have some people in my world that are killers in the video world and killers in the social media world that are doing nowhere near what you're doing.
Right.
So let's help them right now and help anybody that wants to learn, maybe just to go to the next level or go to a ridiculous level that you're at right now.
Okay.
Get very specific.
All right. Let's talk about these vertical videos, these TikTok, Instagram Reels. These are quick, okay? These are also step 1 in the purchase funnel. Okay. These are very step one. This is introduction.
So purchase funnel is like a landing page that talks about what we can do next, right? Okay.
And so this is very first thing. If you want to get my attention and you're a realtor, I would love to see a realtor in social media that would go into every house and find the weirdest or strangest or most interesting one little thing of that house. Whether it be, if that house has a hidden trap door, if that house has doorknobs that were taken from this business from the 1800s. Like I was at a family member's house and they bought this house from a guy who loved doors, and he redid his basement, and he had an actual storefront built into his basement. He bought an old storefront, put it down there, and every other door in his house was a historic door. It was one of those weird things. Now, of course, you're going to have a typical Ryan home or something like that. But find something that would fascinate me for 60 seconds.
So it doesn't even need to be a house. It could be the area that they're in.
It could be the area. Yeah. It could be, did you know that, I don't know, Jack Nicholson grew up 5 minutes away from here? Or, you find, get me in there. And then once you get me in there for each of your videos, then I'm going to remember you. Then I'm going to follow you. Then when I'm finally ready to start looking for a house, you are my top of the mind. It is you. It is not, let me just Google this. Back in radio sales, my biggest competition was the newspaper. And also the phone book. Remember the phone book?
I remember the phone book.
Yeah. I don't think my kids even know what a phone book is.
Do they still print those things?
I don't know. About 10 years ago, I was still getting them, and I just immediately take it, put it in the recycle bin. But, the phone book was always the place to advertise for people that had no preference. Okay, and Google ads are for people that have no preference. They just go to Google and they're just looking, homes for sale, whatever. However, if you want to build up yourself as your own brand, give me a social media feed of interesting things so that I remember you. Because then when I'm looking for a house, I'm going to go to your website first, see what your offerings are, because I want to work with you. Why? Because I just need someone that's a friend that's going to help me through this. And if you become my friend through social media, just giving me interesting stuff. I don't care if you're showing off homes. Maybe you're a realtor, but you're into pickleball. Okay, and each of your videos are like, here's this crazy thing I did with pickle, and then at the very, very end, you're saying, my name is so and so. If you ever need real estate, here's my information. Where you're entertaining, but then you're adding a tag at the end. You can do those things. You're allowed to do those things. Everybody is interesting. Tell me what's fascinating about you. Make me like you.
Yeah, with that energy, right?
Yes.
So the energy, the dopamine, like get the big hit, right?
Yeah, but don't be stupid about it. Let your friends see. And if you're coming across too hard, my wife will tell me sometimes, you push that a little too much. Bring it back some, because you're looking like comedy, where yes, I want it to be humorous, but I don't want it to be overly caricatured.
But on these quick hitting, the two platforms of Insta on the Reels side, Reels, and then also on TikTok. What does that look like in order to really hone in and bring people into your world and start getting the followers? And leave like they apply to real estate, but let's just talk about anybody that has an Instagram account that wants to take it to the next level, or a TikTok account. What can they specifically do?
This is going to be the hard thing. And this is, what makes you unique? Who are you? What is different about you than other people? It could be your business. It could be your likes. It could be your philosophies. I don't know. It's going to take you a while. You're going to have to go through these videos, and you're going to have to see what inspires you. What are the ones that you're liking on your feed? And then that's going to tell you, well, maybe I could do something similar. Don't copy other people, though.
Be yourself.
Yeah. Nobody can be who I am. All right?
No.
And people will say, well, he looks like this guy on this TikTok or that guy. But I'm not. And other people will come in and say, he's nothing like it. He's this or that.
Yeah.
Who are you? And you cannot fake who you are. Yes, you can be animated in a camera, but I want to know about you. If you're going to give me 60 seconds of dopamine, I want it to be something I've never seen before, and I guarantee you there's something about you that's different.
So is there better times to post?
Yeah, and real simple. For me, I saw that once it hit noon, it was good to post.
Okay.
It has an uptick after 7 p.m.
Okay.
and goes until about midnight. However, with Instagram, I was finding I'd post something and I'd wake up the next morning and all of a sudden it was way high because I guess it would hit the West Coast and things like that. But not just stay away from the morning. Yeah. And as you go on, as you add videos, like with Instagram, if you have a business account, eventually it's going to give you insights. And it's going to tell you when the majority of your viewers are looking.
And they should all be upgrading to the business.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
The business account, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, because a business account gives you insights. Yes, Instagram is going to ask you to advertise more, but it's going to give you all the insights you need. It's going to give you just a little bit of extra tools.
Okay. So being consistent.
Yes.
Like daily, consistent, every day.
You want to hear something crazy?
I'd love to hear something crazy.
I've been told that TikTok you should post at least once or twice every day.
Okay.
For the last 2 months, I've posted 4 times a day.
4.
4. You don't have to do this, but this was me. I want to dominate.
Yeah.
In everything I do, I want to dominate. So I have so many musical instruments, and I found that these videos, once I found my formula for making a video, I can do one in 5 minutes. Okay? I grab a guitar, I do a show and tell. My name's Shane Speal. This is blah, blah, blah. And there's me playing it. This is blah, blah, blah. Me playing it again. Done. Then I sit down for 10 minutes and I edit it. It's done. In 15 minutes, I have a video, which means I do about 4 of those, and then my extrovert self is like, okay, you're done. Yeah. And I need to sit back. And so I take those videos. I start with TikTok. It allows me to save them to drafts. Okay?
Yep.
I don't have to post them immediately. It saves to drafts. And then throughout the day, I will post a video, like every couple hours until about 8 p.m. 8 p.m. is my time when I get the biggest hits. I save the best video for then.
But that consistent output of content that is relevant to you and what
yes,
you're about.
1 to 2 videos a day, if you can do it. You got to find that one thing that's easy to do, a 60-second video. And once you find that easy, this is who I am, then you'll learn to just do it, just do it fast. If it's too involved, you're not going to be able to get 1 to 2 a day.
You're going to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also invest in, a good cell phone holder and the light above. Do your research. You don't want the circles of your circle LED into your glasses if you wear glasses. I make that mistake a lot here and there, but I keep trying to fix it. But have good lighting. And that setup is what, $60-$70, maybe $100 on Amazon. Yeah. Do your research. But yeah, you want to make it, set up your camera so that it's easy to do a video. Invest in, it's the one thing my son Shane taught me, invest in the right tools so that you don't have to think about it anymore.
Okay.
And for my whole setup is $120 setup from Amazon, and I'm still only using an iPhone 7.
So iPhone 7, $120 setup, daily consistent, being resourceful, bringing what you're about on a daily basis, multiple times, 4 million views, 2 million views.
Yes.
40,000 on occasion.
Yep.
25,000 on occasion.
Exactly.
And you went from about how many on Instagram about 2 months ago until right now?
2 months ago, I had 2,000 people following me on Instagram.
And where are you at right now?
Yesterday or the day before, I broke 100,000 followers.
Yeah, so by the time this airs, you could be at 200,000.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah. And then on TikTok, a month ago or 2 months ago?
2 months ago, I had a couple videos that I posted back in 2000.
Okay.
And that was it. I let the account go. It was just dormant. Now I'm at over 105,000 followers. I've got one video at 2.5 million, another video 1 million. The beautiful thing about the 1 million video is I'm showcasing a product from cbgiddy.com. It was a beautiful hit. It just hit at the right time. It hit the algorithm.
Yeah.
And I get a call from one of the women in his shipping saying, Shane, what did you do? Why are we selling so many of these right now? I know it's got to be your fault.
Yeah, it's your fault. I love it when it's your fault for success.
Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
All right, so I have a question for you. Now, I changed things around and I started doing TikTok, and I was so surprised at how well it succeeded. Is there anything you've done in your life, something you've changed that surprised you at how well it succeeded?
Interesting question. I'm sitting here thinking about, like, my goodness, where do I go? But I think the biggest thing that happened and the big change in my life was I had a couple people enter my life and they started believing in me. So, like I always say,
that's huge.
It is. But it actually takes me into what made a big change and where I made a big change and how it affected my life. So Sarah Kane and Kay Fairchild, my coach over at Tom Ferry, they started putting this self-belief in Jack. Jack had a lot of confidence, but still I gave a lot of credibility and credit to those that didn't deserve it. I mean, cab driver number 5 and bartender number 2, right?
Yes.
So I started doing this thing very, very uncomfortable, getting in front of a camera. Like kind of like we're doing right now.
Yes.
Very, very uncomfortable. It's getting on stage and having some, speaking engagements.
It's people's number one fear is, public speaking.
Most definitely. Super, super uncomfortable. But guess what? I embraced it and I started getting in front of this Facebook Live.
Yes.
And that has made a huge difference in my world. It has attracted a ton of people into my world so that I can have like really good intimate conversations to learn more about what they're looking for and how we can grow our business together, or what I can do to help them grow their business.
It's a beautiful thing. That is.
So it is the most surprising thing, because I was like, I certainly wasn't all in. Like, I was interested, I was far from committed. But then I did it a few times, got super uncomfortable, and I always talk about like our team getting uncomfortable for growth. Damn it, why am I not doing it myself?
Let me tell you something. Those Facebook Lives, I was part of that when they first introduced it, and did many years of Facebook Live. When you're doing that, you are in real time watching people's reactions. You're seeing their comments, and you're knowing when you're going, and as soon as there is like a hint of dead air, you start to panic. And it is such a beautiful way to get out of that. It's the same as a lot of people say, how do I become a better musician? And I tell them, go to open mics. Don't just sit there at home. Go out and do it in front of open mics, because it's trial by fire. Yeah. And that is a wonderful way to... It makes sense that changed you.
It did.
And it made you more outgoing that way.
Yeah. It takes a lot of energy and effort as an introvert, but the thing is, we're doing it because we want to help others.
Absolutely.
And you get focused on helping others.
Yes.
And the ones that deserve it too.
And then you
always got to remember that.
Yeah, you stop worrying about your own ego as you're helping others, and you become more comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah. So lives on Insta, lives on Facebook, and then doing a ton of reels. And then just doing stupid stuff and getting out of my comfort zone and not worrying about what other people think and making mistakes.
Yes.
I was that person that just didn't want to make a mistake in front of anybody.
Oh, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody.
I didn't know
mistakes.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. If people saw, my wife jokes with me now as I'm making my Instagram or my TikToks, because I will be repeating the same line at least 4 or 5 times, knowing that I'm going to go edit it out.
Okay.
It's like, so I have this silver tone guitar, and it's over and over. But you keep working through it. Everybody makes mistakes. The live stuff is just fantastic as a character development tool.
Character development, I love that. So we get in front of the camera here, like in the Lehr, down Lehr's Lair in the studio here, and get to have these great conversations with incredible folks like yourself and Shane. I'm super grateful that, again,
I had a blast. I'm so glad I can share this stuff.
Yeah, this is good stuff. So after we're done shooting, we're going to go do a couple reels or something, right?
Yeah, I think we need to do a couple fun viral TikToks. Why not?
Will you teach me how to take my followers to the next level?
Absolutely.
Yeah, not just 1 or 2.
No, you want to get all 4.3 million.
I heard a commitment. Didn't you? Okay. So if I'm not at 4.3 million by, I don't know, October.
I didn't give you a time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no,
good.
come on
okay.
now.
Okay, very good.
Don't be giving me a time like that.
That's called pressure. No. Again, Shane, super grateful that we got to connect today.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Make today great.